In New York City was an issue long before yesterday's subway attack, but workers across the nation say the federal government has turned a blind eye to this growing issue of violence on public transit. Without federal tracking, workers say the crimes do not result in charges that are as harsh as they would like. National correspondent Brian Enton has been talking with some of these transit employees. Brian, no federal tracking, but the employees say violence on public transit is at an all-time high.
Yeah, Nicole, it's tricky because you can get on a train like this or a bus and there are no safety or security checks. You could have a gun or a knife and no one would ever know. And there is this surge in violent crime on public transit right now throughout the entire country. While so many of us watched in shock and horror at what happened on the New York City subway yesterday, for transit workers, the shooting sadly comes as no surprise. Violence on buses and trains is on the rise, and it's happening from coast to coast. In Tampa, Florida, this man stabbed a bus driver to death. In Los Angeles, a city bus turned into a crime scene when a rider was stabbed over and over again in the upper torso. In Chicago, transit workers took to the streets in protest because violence on the L has gotten so bad. And in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just last month, a shootout on a bus killed 2 people. The gunman fired 12 shots at passengers, then reloaded and kept shooting.
I just remember boom, 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 and I just drove.
There's a bus going the wrong way on the eastbound lane. Almost ran into me and a lot of cars.
And he was basically speeding. Speeding in the wrong way here on Broward Boulevard.
While the shooting was happening in the back of her bus, driver Gwendolyn Whitfield sped into oncoming traffic to get to a police station. Gwendolyn, you spent 2 decades driving buses.
Yes.
Have you seen the violence issue get worse?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I believe that people are more angry now. I don't know if it's because of the economy. I don't know why, but I have seen a lot of angry people.
The ATU, which is the largest transit union in the U.S., says violent crime on public transit is at an all-time high. But they don't have exact numbers because, unlike air travel, the union says the federal government does not track crime on public transit.
For years, they've just been sweeping it under the rug and hiding it. I saw an operator, one of my operators, get stabbed 7 times, and they called it a simple assault. You stabbed me 7 times. That's not attempted murder. And I had to, we had to go fight that.
It has gotten dangerous for passengers trying to get to work and school, and for drivers like Gwendolyn, who after 20 years as a bus driver, isn't sure she'll get back behind the wheel. Will you be able to drive again?
I don't know. I pray I will, but I'm not sure.
And it really is interesting when you think about the difference between air travel and people who ride buses and trains. If you even get in a small altercation on a plane, an issue over an overhead bin, you can literally be booted off and charged with a federal crime. But on trains like this, there are assaults happening all day long, and basically nothing is done about it. Nicole?
All day long in cities across America. Brian Enton live for us there in Miami. Thank you.